Okay, so I am super excited today. I am a member of Skillshare and I recently discovered Denise Soden, an awesome watercolorist, and I watched her course on how to make yourself a watercolor palette. I've been wanting to really seriously start learning more about watercolors, so I decided to set myself up a custom palette. I've also watched a bunch of her other videos since she is a YouTube creator, such as her Color Spotlight series, and I've gained a huge appreciation for single pigment colors and mixing colors. So I took all of that information into consideration for this palette. If you're interested, I will link her channel in the iCard because it's just so fun and informative, and you should definitely go peek. Now, what palette am I looking to use, you ask? Well, here it is. This is the Montmartre 16-slot airtight watercolor palette. I was drawn to this one because it is airtight, it's a small size, and it has wells instead of pans. Because I've spent a little money on some new brushes that I'm going to be trying out, and Denise mentions in her videos that it is easier to damage your brushes with pans than wells, so I figured better safe than sorry. So, we'll just get this open, and here it is, nice and shiny and clean. It's very important to wash your palette once you receive it new, since a lot of the time there are apparently still chemicals on the plastic surface, which is super annoying. When I first bought my Mission Gold watercolor set, which included a palette, I didn't know this tip. And here, actually, I can show you. This is what happens. See all the dots of paint, the speckles? Instead of laying down flat in the mixing wells, it does that. So it's really difficult to see the color that you've mixed, since it's in those little splotches instead of a nice flat wash. So yeah, this is the palette after I've washed it with warm water and soap and dried it with a paper towel. I have all the colors I've selected here, and I'm going to fill the deep end of each well with each color. To go along with this palette, I'm also making a quick little color guide to put in with it as a quick reference. I'm using India ink here with my dip pen because I know that once it's dry it will be waterproof and it won't smudge when I swatch the colors on top of it. And the colors are as follows. First we have Schmincke's Titanium White Gouache, pigment PW6. It's the only gouache, and I included it as a highlight color so I didn't have to keep track of a white gel pen. Next is Daniel Smith's Lemon Yellow, which uses pigment PY175, and it is my cool yellow. Then we have Mission Gold's Permanent Yellow Deep, PY65, which is the warm yellow. Core's Transparent Pyrrol Orange is here mostly as a quick and easy way to mix a black. It is made out of PO71. After that is Venetian Red by Sennelier, made of PR101, the warm red. And for a cool red, I have Mission Gold's Permanent Rose, made of PV19. Then the two M. Graham colors I have in this palette, PV23 Dioxazine Purple and PB29 Ultramarine. You'll notice that this ultramarine does not granulate much, which is typical of ultramarine. Usually it granulates a lot. I tried to stay away from colors that granulate in this palette for my own sanity because, yeah, granulation is a whole new animal and I don't know how to use it or control it or appreciate it yet. So I figured just this will be the not granulating palette. After my warm blue is my cool blue. This is Pthalo Blue Primary, the second color I have from Sennelier, made of the standard PB15:3. After that is the Trader. I'll show you why later, just know that if it wasn't so pretty, I'd be a whole lot madder about this one. It is Cobalt Turquoise by DaVinci, which uses the single pigment PB36. And then comes my other DaVinci color, and my only green in this palette. That's right, I have no warm green, just this cool phthalo green, which is made of PG7. Moving to one of a few earth tones I have, this is Holbein's Yellow Ochre PY42. One of the ones Denise says is not chalky and gross, which is why I chose it. At the 3/4 mark, we have my first of only 2 convenience colors I have out of all 16. And by convenience color, I just mean that it's made of multiple pigments all mixed together to make one watercolor. It is Schmincke's Naples Yellow Reddish. I like to use it as a neutral base for skin tones and then add yellow, red, or brown to adjust and get whatever color I'm actually trying to use. If you're curious, it's made of PW6, PW4, PR242, and PY42. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of pigments, and the PW6, which is titanium white, makes it a little on the opaque side, but I don't really mind that much, and like I say, I really only use it for a skin tone base, and I mix other colors into it. After that, we have the other Holbein color I now own, Burnt Sienna, taking the spot for the warm earth brown, and it is made from PBR7. The cool brown is what Mission Gold calls Van Dyke brown, also made of PBR7. But in the Burnt Umber episode of Denise's Spotlight Colors series, she says that it is more truly belonging in the Burnt Umber category, so make of that what you will. And bringing up the rear is my second convenience color. This is Lukas 1862's Neutral Tint. And as a convenience color, it is 4 pigments, just like the Naples Yellow Reddish was. This one is made of PY153, PV19, PB15:1, and PG7. Okay, now this is why I wanted the small-sized palette. I wanted to take this on my trip to Hawaii and paint stuff. So I put together this travel watercolor set with my new palette. It's this nice little gray zipper bag that's actually supposed to be a cosmetic case. And inside we have a hard lead pencil, along with a sharpener and eraser. Okay, well it looks like the sharpener and eraser fell out, but they're supposed to be up in this top plastic section along with a few water brushes, and this is the dual-ended detail brush from the Portable Painter watercolor palette. Originally that was going to be my travel palette, but then I wanted 16 colors instead of only 12, so I had to change some things around, and anyway, next on the other side is my watercolor sketchbook. It's a Pentelic 5x8 watercolor sketchbook. After that is the palette, and then, since I am still learning to use, and am deathly afraid of, watercolor brushes, I also gave myself 2 collapsible water cups so I could set up water when possible and paint that way with my traditional brush, which is what I ended up doing when I was on vacation. Now, you remember how I said that there was one color that was a traitor in my palette? Well, here's why. This is the DaVinci Cobalt Turquoise, and yeah, so this happened. Somehow, some way, it's the only one that didn't dry and set, even though I left the palette out to air dry for a week before I went away. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, other than it was quite annoying. Do not recommend. No, I'm here to talk about the other problem you can probably see with this palette. Yeah, when I got to my destination, I opened this up and there were about 4 little hard chunks of white gouache rattling around in here. Apparently not all gouache dries nicely and stays in palettes. I found out later that it's apparently pretty common for it to dry out and not stick in a palette. Imagine that. So I have here some 100% vegetable glycerin that has a nice little convenient dropper on top, and I'm gonna mix some in with some new gouache, and hopefully that will help it stay nice and smooth and stuck to the palette after it dries out. Hey, Future Ace here to say that yes, this did the trick. I used a few good-sized drops of glycerin like you see here and mixed them with a toothpick, let it dry out for a week or so, and it's still stuck nice and firm in my palette. Reactivates a treat. So yeah, 100% vegetable glycerin is definitely the way to keep gouache in a palette, apparently. Okay, and finally, you can see here, this is what I painted while I was on vacation. There are just so many roosters in Hawaii. You can't escape them, they're everywhere. It's like rooster apocalypse over there. So I did a few sketches of other things, but I couldn't help painting a full-fledged picture of a rooster. I was just messing around, having a relaxing painting hour on my birthday. You probably have already seen this if you follow me on Instagram. But right, so I had to record a speed paint for this palette, so how do we feel about birds of paradise? I saw them all over the Pearl Harbor Memorial when we went there, and I took several pictures, so that's what I'm going to do here. A quick little bird of paradise in my watercolor sketchbook with my new palette. I hope you enjoy. Please like this video if you want to see more watercolor artwork from me using my new palette. Subscribe and ring the bell for more left brain type videos. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye!